So I was doing these videos. For some reason, I'm going through a bunch of random thoughts in my head that just, it's crazy what's been going on. We've got coronavirus and things like that that has just been absolutely plaguing the world, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's, it makes me sad what's been going on, but it's been flooding my head with memories of when I was younger, and I think that I've always kind of replayed a lot of thoughts in my head, especially moments that I love in life, just fun moments and things like that, and maybe because there was more of them as we were younger than, as we get older, we don't get me wrong, we have great moments all the time, but sometimes you reflect on those ones where you were young and strong and stuff like that, and I was kind of thinking about my friends. I've been kind of reaching out. We've all been doing that lately. The coronavirus, we can't get together as much, but we've been reaching out to one another quite a bit. And when we were kids, we really had an amazing group of friends. We lived on the street, Fairchild, and just, it was absolutely amazing because when I moved there, I was 5. I had these 2 friends that I met right away, John and Joe, and then there was Jason next door, and Annette lived there, and Norman lived down the street, and then Lloyd lived down the street, and then just kids all over, Jeff and Christian, and just really just it was a great time. It was a great time. We just bonded, and when we got into high school, that just became even stronger. We just had this tight group of friends, and every now and then somebody might come in, but in all honesty, when we had our little house parties and stuff like that, it was always a core group of friends. There was a couple girls, a couple guys, but we always felt safe together. We could always trust one another. You can almost think something and the other person knew it, and so you had to kind of know the group. Everybody had their own little personalities and stuff like that, and to this day, I'm still friends with quite a bit of them. A few of us have parted ways, but you can actually see a picture right over my shoulder here. It's Norm and Lloyd, my 2 best friends. Lloyd and I have really, over the past few years, have really rekindled our friendship quite a bit, and I got to thank Norman for that. There was quite a time where we all got sort of separated. I think life was just happening. We all had our girlfriends and we were all working and things like that, and we sort of separated, and it was quite a while. It's almost 10, 12 years, and the thought of us getting back together, I wasn't sure how we would be able to do it, but Norman was able to do it. We all went to a graduation party for his son, and he said, I'm getting the band back together again, and he created the softball team, which is exactly what that picture was. I think that's the one where we took first place, but it was really kind of neat. We all had our little nicknames and stuff like that on the back of our jerseys, and it was a fun moment. But you gotta know Norman. Norman was absolutely crazy. I mean, the way the kid drove, he would do anything, but Norman always made things fun, which is why I think he was able to get the guys back together again and rekindle our friendships. I have to give Norman the credit for all that. It was just, he always made things fun. And Norman would do anything. It's amazing that we're still alive because of some of the antics that he would pull. I mean, he was fearless. He's, to this day, absolutely fearless. He would do anything just for a thrill. And really, we all thought he was crazy. And so I was thinking about this time, and if Norm and Lloyd were here, they're going to say, I've told this story a million times. Everybody's heard it, but it's one of those times where it was just so fun. It was just so crazy, and just, it was stupid, right? It was just a stupid thing that we did as kids, and it was the middle of winter. We had this huge snow. I mean, there must have literally have been a foot of snow, and we're all just kind of sitting there. We're bored. We don't know what to do. right? There's not a whole lot we could do. I mean, we could have went sledding or something like that, but we're in high school. And so I was saying to the guys, I go, how cool would it be if we had a snowmobile or maybe like a three-wheeler or four-wheeler or something like that, and maybe we could hook a sled to the back of it and just tow it around a field or something like that. And they said, just kind of let it rip and just have a good time and swing around and just, do that. But none of us had that. We just didn't have those types of devices at that time. But we did drive. I mean, we were probably about 16 at the time, and we all had cars. And Lloyd had this little Escort. It was this cute little car, and we were all thinking, and it just kind of dismissed the idea. And then we were going to go out somewhere, and I looked at Lloyd's car, and I'm like, well, we don't need a four-wheeler. We've got your car, right? And he looked at me, and he's kind of like, what? I says, yeah, we should figure out a way to tie a rope to the back of this car and then tie it to the sled, and you could literally drag us up and down the road, right? So there used to be this street that was behind our house. It was called Abington Circle, and it was literally a big circle, right? You could just drive around this big circle, and I'm like, how perfect is that, right? We don't even have to go that fast. I'm sure if you go like 10 miles an hour, you'd feel like you're just flying, right? So sure enough, we get ourselves a little plastic sled. We find some rope in the garage, and we tie the rope to the car. Now I'm thinking, now it was like 20, 30 feet, right? But it's probably more like 10, right? You're probably tied right to the bumper of this car. But we were smart enough to, take a helmet and stuff like that. Well, as I'm explaining this to the guys, the one person, the craziest person of all, looked at me and he says, I ain't doing that. He said, that's crazy, right? And for Norman to say that that's crazy, that should have been our first indication that this was not a smart thing to do. But we did it anyways, right? And we had a helmet on, and we're all riding. And I gotta tell you, it may have very well been one of the most fun things ever. And we're holding on to the sled, and all the snow's coming off the car, and it's literally piling up. And you're holding on for dear life, and you have to wipe the screen off on the helmet really quick, right? Because there's so much snow coming onto that thing that you can't see, right? And you don't know where you're going, and you just hold on, you're going blind, right? And we would do a couple laps around the thing. And I swear we probably had that car up to 25, maybe 30 miles an hour, right? And it was just so much fun. You could feel that car pulling. The weight would go on it, and it would pull, and then you kind of build up a little. It would be like a slingshot effect. And so we all did it. The only person I think that didn't do it was probably Lloyd, because he was driving. But we all got back there, and we all did it, and I did it. And so now it's Jeff's turn. Jeff was one of the guys that we hung out with, and Jeff gets on there, we get doing a loop around, and we're all in the car, we're all cracking up, and you could feel the car sort of tugging, and then all of a sudden the car just snaps forward, right? And what ended up happening is the rope broke, and there's Jeff still holding on, thinking he's getting towed by the car, and he just goes straight off into some guy's yard, down into a ditch, right? He tumbles over. I mean, he's okay, but it was awesome. It was an awesome moment, right? We had so much fun, just finding something to do, and it was absolutely crazy. But to this day, those guys they're just amazing. I mean, Lloyd to me is just, what can you say? I mean, they're more than friends. They're your brothers. I mean, I've been friends with these guys for it's been over 30 years. I mean, I it's more than that. It's probably rounding close to 40 now. But these guys have been an amazing part of my life, and I always reflect on that. I've got little pictures of the guys around. There's another fun one right over here where we're all, we spent the day out on the wave runners and stuff like that, and we're just sitting there talking at a bar, and at different times, you could just go there and just not worry about things. You don't have the worries and stuff in life, and for some reason, in my mind, I always seem to live backwards. I just love those moments. I would love to relive them again. It'd be a fantastic moment if you could ever go back and relive it, and that would be one of the times that I'd want to relive. It just was crazy, but we made it through it, and it was fun, and it was a great time. So Um, I love my buddies. They've been great, and super super fun moment in life.